Danny,
Noah.
what's up?
I don't know.
Right, so let me get the documents. Here we go.
Sunday's worst, he says.
Yeah.
A brandy new one in
So I go in there
beautiful
on a Sunday. There's app.
Montreal. Laundromat. Laundromat.
This
Where-
was a chain at one point. Pardon me?
A chain.
I believe it was a chain at one point because the next one we're going to call is also the same name, same sign, everything. I believe it was sold off individually, and these people acquired the building and just, they don't know about laundromats and they just left it to go down. So there's 90% of the machines are broken. It's a disaster in there. It's operating.
I lost you.
I believe to be a landline, but I found who I believe to be maybe his son or his brother, Antoine. It's Antoine's number we're going to call. So in the laundromat, under information, it's this number that people are supposed to call. So I vetted the number and everything. It rings. So.
Okay. So dad owns the building, acquired the building, doesn't really know what the hell's going on, and he's got his dim-witted son in there running the place, or at least fielding phone calls.
There to clean. Like, that's how bad it is. So.
I'm only getting every other word when you talk. I'm going to call you back. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, my shitty reception. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I was getting every other word. All right, so dad bought a building, kid is operating poorly.
I'm speculating. I don't know if it's the kid. I'm not sure. This is what I believe.
Same last name, could be his brother, whatever.
Right, exactly.
All right, here we go. The kid it is.
Antoine.
He's not going to answer because the number's in the laundromat.
Hello?
Antoine.
Hello? Yes.
Antoine, my name is Danny. I am interested in leasing some space from you here in Montreal. This is Laundromat, where the coin laundromat is. If I'm right, you're operating the laundry. I see your number there, but it's my understanding that your family also owns the building.
Okay, listen, the apartment is already rented, so I can't really.
No, I'm not calling on the apartment, my friend. I'm calling on the commercial space.
For what? Okay.
The laundry. I'm interested in leasing the laundromat. I'm already in that business, and my interest is in leasing that space, bringing in my distributors, putting some new equipment in, and becoming your tenant.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm not. We are not interested anymore in laundromat. So, if you want to operate it, yeah, I'm open to that.
Good. And to explain a little bit further, in the research that I own and operate several stores in 3 provinces. I'm not looking to flip or sell this location. You got to be careful for that. My partner and I, we are local. We are looking to lease the space from you, renew it with new equipment, and give you a long-term rent check. That simple. At the end of the day, I also have to say that we're going to try to get the best possible rate of rent. As you know, it is a laundromat. You've seen what it can earn, or at least what it can earn with this old equipment. At the end of the day, our research shows me that your family was operating, but we gave it a try. What's the best you can do as far as lease rate moving forward on a 15-year term?
Well, listen, I have to talk with my brother on that. We are not. You asked me the question between two of my meeting right now. I just lucky to answer to you. It's we have to talk about it like maybe later on Thursday afternoon or Friday afternoon, because
Okay.
until then I'm really busy in court and all that. My work. So I'll prefer that if we could talk, we could just talk Thursday or Friday afternoon.
Understood.
If you want to call me back on Thursday, I will discuss with my brother your interest and what you want to do, and I will get back. Actually, call me back on if you could Thursday or Friday afternoon. Will elaborate more on that subject.
Of course. I think that we understand each other, and I will go ahead and call you Thursday. What's the best email address for you?
No, you
Okay,
have my
first
name?
and last name. Yes, I do. What's your brother's name?
Yeah. How you want to do that?
I own several
It's not unfortunate.
locations, and I take. Why do I want to know? You said that your brother's your partner, and I'm just making a note of who I'd be
No,
dealing
my
with
brother.
as my landlord.
Actually, I don't own the building. It's my parents own the building, but I actually we are
Yeah, I have the
two
name.
brothers.
Sure, I have the. All this information is public information. No big
I
deal.
know it's okay. But like I said, what's your name?
Thursday
What's
it
your first name?
is. My name is Danny. I'll send you an
Okay,
email.
Danny. Okay, yes, Danny. Okay, we'll keep in touch until Thursday.
Merci. Ciao.
Thank you, Danny. Bye.
Now, here's a textbook scenario, and for the cheap seats, you go out, you get interested in entry. Here's your big showbiz break, your opportunity to be on the YouTube machine. The what interested you in owning a laundromat back in the day? Where did this
Well,
idea come from?
it all started during the pandemic when I was looking to, not work in warehouses anymore and break my back, and I actually wanted to own a business. So I started doing research on different businesses, and during the pandemic, we started to hear this word float around, essential businesses. So we started to see small businesses get shut down to never reopen again. So I started to say, you know what? I need to open something that's essential, that's pandemic proof. So some of them, the things were dollar stores, they were pharmacies, they were grocery stores. None of those were appealing to me. So another one was the laundromats. So I said, that's when I started doing research. So it all began during the pandemic.
And your search, I don't want to put words in your mouth or make assumptions. Buy one, right? You're supposed to buy a laundromat. That's the way it works.
I was thinking build, buy. I had no idea until I stumbled across you.
Yeah, well, that's normal. And there's dozens of knuckleheads out there saying to do exactly that. And I don't think that they're trying to
Right.
lead you or anyone else astray. They did it that way. They bought a laundromat, likely immediately figured out that that laundromat was not earning what they were told. They were sold a bill of goods, so they have to spend more money. It's not just the sale price, it's this used car that you immediately find out has 4 bald tires, and the engine
Exactly.
numbers don't match, and the paint is not matching when you open the door. And there's all the, but this is different. This isn't just a used car, this is a business. And
Right.
many times we rush into this. The preponderance of people that are buying laundromats are late 40s, early 50s. They're semi-retired. They have this nest egg, or they sell a property and they're sitting on this money. Understand, you're not in this situation, but I have this money. What am I going to do with it? Am I going to go to Vegas? Am I going to put it in a low interest bearing account? Or am I going to buy a laundromat? Or, sorry, am I going to buy a business? Whatever that business may be. And then they start doing
Right.
research, And the whole resurgence of the laundromat business is the greatest thing since the 70s. It's absentee, it's turnkey. You don't have to do a damn thing. You just pick up money. It's gold from the streets. People making coin collection videos. Well, that ain't it. The reality is I never counted a coin the whole time I had my stores. Why would I count coins? They're just tokens. You get that, you understand it. So bring us again through the journey. You do what next? You get some guy's silly course. What was your thought process? Like, were you listening to were you listening to other voices online?
I actually found you quite quick. So during the pandemic, I was interested. I did a little bit of research, Googling here and there, maybe a couple YouTube videos, and then I fell off of the idea. And throughout the years, until I think me and you connected maybe last April. So in between the pandemic and then, I kept coming back to the idea. Every so often, I kept coming back to the laundromat idea, until one day I just decided to do a little bit more digging. I went on YouTube and I found you, pretty much the first person I actually found. And I started doing a deep delve into your videos, and that's what happened.
So you watch the silly course. Tell me, Tell me 2 things that you learned in the course that you had no knowledge of. 2 things, not just one.
2 things I learned about rent abatement. I learned about, I learned so much. There's so many things. I'm just trying to think.
See, if I say one thing, it's easy. And then I throw you, you're a smart guy, so I throw you a curveball and say 2 things. And it's always rent abatement and TI. That's usually what people say.
TI, right. It was so informative. There's so much that I soaked up. There's so much information.
Thank you. Here's the thing. We live our lives, we think about owning a business, whether you're Canadian, you're from New York, LA, or the other 28 countries where I'm doing this. And there's this difficulty. Gee whiz, I've never done it. I hate my job. I know that I don't want to keep going in there and doing that. But that evil, difficult thing is really the simple thing. Going to the job, dragging your ass in there every day is easy. It may seem difficult. It's like being a prisoner. Man, I hate it here. They buzz, you wake up, they give you an hour to walk the yard. They buzz, you eat. They buzz, you shit. They buzz, you go to bed. Man, I hate it here, but they just do the thing. And then they get out and they do what? Recidivism. They commit another crime. Here we are going from laundromat ownership to criminals. You never know where I'm going to go with these things. So it's the horrible, horrific thing. And they got these people out walking the streets that say, what am I going to do to get back into prison where it's easy? Where I'm told when to shit and when to eat and when to walk. And people do this in their lives. I can't, when I hear people say to me that the key to me, the turning point is when a new client says, when do I need an LLC? And you know me, I roll my eyes like, oh man, that's just the key indicator that every living human being needs some form of entity, some form of company. Whether you have an asset or a liability, shelter it. It's called a shelter. And this starts to get into the weeds. Oh my God, that's scary again. So they don't ever do that thing. They keep going, dragging their ass to prison, going to the job. I'm trying to simplify and break this down and make you understand. Or, oh, if I can just get this laundromat, just buy this laundromat, it's $300,000. That's their sale price. Now, the obstacle is, how do I get this operator their money, this salesperson selling this business? How do I get them their money? And there are others who've used seller financing. That means that the one running the business is going to let you own the business. They're not the landlord. That's another entity. Don't forget, this works for us when the laundromat is in rented space. And we're going to get to what you did here and how it worked. But we're talking general terms with you on here as the mouthpiece, the sounding board, the person who's doing it. Does this work in Canada? You know it does. You've seen my other clients there that are doing it.
Yep. It works everywhere.
Why would you buy someone's laundromat when they are selling you their failure? And I'm going to start talking as it relates to this store. How did you initially find this location? How did you find it first?
Physically, I was scouting, driving around the city.
Driving around Montreal.
Driving around.
There's a laundromat. And I'm going to describe what I see here. It looks like a very substantial building. It's, geez, I mean, it's mostly stone, not brick, but stone. It's one of these, it's got the laundromat's on a corner. It looks like the first story, like back in New York, where that's the storefront, and there's several storefronts, and then there's 2 additional stories of what looks like apartments. This is almost like New Orleans.
Exactly.
Where New Orleans is influenced heavily from, obviously, Quebec,
French,
which is French influence. Exactly. So here we go. Everything is derivative. And you see Laundromat. Holy shit. And it looks nice from the outside, except for the snow. And then you go inside and immediately you see what? Give me the highlights. Big store.
I'm seeing quite a good foot space, especially for our Canadian standard. But I'm seeing ancient machines. I don't know how old, maybe 50 years old. I'm seeing half the lights burnt out. I'm seeing out of order stickers absolutely everywhere. I'm seeing graffiti on the windows. I'm seeing dirt on the floors, and I can keep going on. So.
Without even knowing the history of this location, because the history, you can look online. You can try to find information online. You're going to go down some rabbit hole. The reason that I'm going on ad nauseum here is because this is this is likely going to become your location. And you know me, don't get excited. There's no champagne quite yet.
I know.
But this family that owns commercial property bought this building, looked at the laundromat, and said, shit, how hard could it be? Let's run it.
Exactly.
Imagine the same family takes over a commercial building with 3 stories, and on the street corner, there's a dentist's office. But the dentist passed away, and now the only thing left is the spit sinks and the chairs and the waiting room. Are they going to say, shit, how hard could it be? Let's run this place. Let's drill some teeth. It's just different. Laundromats are these redheaded stepchildren where, it's absentee, it's turnkey, it's going to be easy. Let's go ahead and operate it. They did that, and just the right amount of time has gone by where they realize they don't want to run this place. And whether they're even looking, do you know how long they've owned the building?
I don't. I believe I can check online, but I believe it to be maybe over a decade. Over a decade.
Oh, wow.
Could be 20 years. Yeah.
Okay. So they had a tenant there. That tenant ran the place into the ground, left. They've taken it over, saying, again, well, shit, we're smart. We can do it better. Let's flip the sign to open and start collecting the money, right?
Exactly. They felt it was just collecting coins, and it's much more than that, as we know. So,
but since they've owned it for some time, I guarantee you, the local distributors, HIP, Speed Queen, Wascomat, ADC, Dexter, Maytag, they have sat with these landlords, or at the very least, they're giving them brochures. Because this is what happens when you have a storefront with a laundromat. Well, the distributors know where it is. They can see that it's faltering, and they show up, and they start putting brochures in front of you. So if none of this matters, this is all speculation right now. Everything that we are doing, you and I, this is academic, and I'm not a professor. I'm not into the academia of this, but this is for the cheap seats. This is for the YouTubeinator.
Exactly.
They likely know what it's going to cost to retool it. They're not in the business. They're realtors. It's a family of real estate agents.
Exactly. Real estate.
His mom, his dad, the information that you found, and the luck of the Irish. When we made the phone call, someone answered, and he said, what? The big headline on this is, yeah, we want to do this. We're ready.
Yeah, we don't want to run the laundromat anymore.
Oh, but first he said what? What's the first thing he said?
Well, when you patched me in, the first thing he said was he's not interested in operating the laundromat anymore, and he must talk with his brother and his dad about.
When I patched you in, but I don't know if did you hear the first thing he said is it's rented. He was talking about, right? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear. No, I didn't hear that. No.
Yeah, because I hadn't clicked you over. It's rented.
Right.
He was talking about.
He was talking about
the apartment, and that's where you got his number. So these are the stories in the naked city, right? This is going to be told again and again when you're in there collecting coin, making money, making deposits at the bank, and the teller at the bank is rolling her eyes all pissed off at you because you have so much cash. You're going to be saying, well, Danny called. He said it's rented. The phone number that you found is for one of the apartments upstairs. And so his narrow-minded thinking is, well, it's rented.
Well, actually, this number was in the laundromat under information.
Right.
But when I did a quick Google search of this number, there was other properties listed.
Right.
I don't know if there's old listings or whatnot, just another building maybe 20 minutes away. So,
and so that's my point. His phone rings, and he is immediately thinking this is either someone selling something,
an apartment.
Or it's someone that wants the apartment that we have available either here or elsewhere. Who knows? So immediately he wants to hustle me off to Buffalo and say, get off the phone. I'm like, no, I'm interested in the commercial space. It's a little bit frustrating, right? That's the term. So at the end of the day, he doesn't have a lease rate in mind. Not that it matters, but I would like you to do one thing, a little bit of homework. Figure out what the lease rate is for their other commercial space. Do some digging.
Okay.
Two things. What do they charge? Look, if they own a building outright and have been doing this for 50 years, or granddad gave them the building, what does it matter? Oh, they can charge less. If they have a hefty mortgage, if they just bought a building and the market rate is high, they're going to be behind the 8 ball, and they'll probably get rid of the laundry entirely. We need to now talk them down. The difficulty with me is, well, you're not going to get market rate. You're going to get less. And the fact that they operated it helps us greatly because we say, look, you know what you made. You lost. If they were making 2,000 or 3,000 Canadian a month, they'd probably keep it where it should be making 50,000.
Right.
But they don't
like
know
you said,
that.
like to use your words, it's very telling that I go there on a Sunday in the middle of the afternoon and there's absolutely nobody, not a soul in the laundromat. Now, I've scouted many stores on Sunday, tiny little laundromats, decrepit, nasty, zombie mats as we call them, and there's always people in there on a Sunday. This place with a great square footage, great area, there's nobody in there. Not one person doing laundry.
Very,
so that's
very telling.
Say, right?
Because if 2 people showed up, they wouldn't be able to do laundry because the equipment's broken. It doesn't work.
Exactly. That's it.
Well, this is what we call a cold call turned into a hot lead. So we make the call. I'm not going to be pushy. I'm not going to ask any additional questions. You have to mirror your adversary. He's a calm guy. I'm calm. They talk fast. I talk faster. They talk slow. I'm going to chill out. I have clients in Tennessee that say, oh, Danny, you can't talk to these people the way you talk to somebody in New York. Well, why would I? Someone said in the comment section the other day, you're nice to women. Well, who isn't? That's all of us, isn't it?
Right. Yeah. For sure.
Bottom line, I've got the guy's email. I am not going to email him, by the way. We have his email address. I don't think we're ready for that. I'm going to note here, no email.
No problem. I just was wondering, I'm like, did he say something in between his first name and his last name? I was like, I heard something, but I'm not sure. Maybe this is the right email, but
no,
that's what I heard, so I wrote it down.
That's what he said.
That's what it was, right? Okay.
That's what he said.
Perfect.
So the ball is in his court. If he texts, calls, sends a carrier pigeon he was wishy-washy. He said Thursday or Friday.
Or Friday.
My brother, now he evoked his brother's name. And I said, you notice this too. I said, well, what's your brother's name? Why does that matter? It matters because you
Okay.
mentioned his name. I write things down. This is like a real business for me, bud. Without being
Right.
being a dick, which is hard for me.
Exactly.
Try not to be an idiot.
Right? Without doing that, when I don't lose my shit when I ask somebody for something and they don't provide it. Okay, Zaria, that's a woman's name.
That's what he said. I think he kind of said it really fast. He's like, "That's my mom."
That's my mom.
When you said it,
Yeah.
he's like, "That's my."
So what we're
Right.
doing, why am I tipping my hand there? Well, I'm saying, look, I've done research. I know who owns the building. It's public record. I'm not afraid to tell you that
Right.
I know some stuff. It's not, there's no anonymity, bud. This is
Right. This is how we got here.
2025. So if he hadn't
Yeah.
mentioned his brother being someone he needed to talk to, then I wouldn't have mentioned what's his name. I want to know who I'm dealing with. All right. All
Right.
this is academia and horse shit. Keep in mind, these people might come back with some utterly preposterous rate of rent. So 2 things I want from you before Thursday.
Absolutely.
What are they typically charging for their commercial space per square foot or metre? And what is the market rate? Which is very easy to find in that
I'll find the
particular.
market rate. What?
Yeah.
But what if they don't have any other commercial spaces other than this one and it's just residential?
I don't need any of that information. New clients ask me,
Well, you said
hey, how much? Oh my God, that soap machine is an old 1950s candy machine.
I knew it was over 50 years old.
Oh my goodness. Wow. 75 cents. You're going to be charging $5 a piece for your soap. We don't want to be stocking soap. We have another opportunity here, so who knows? We'll get 2 stores going at once for you.
Okay, so this is funny now that we reached that guy. This is another Laundromat. So this is why I say this is the same exact sign,
Yeah.
same everything. Even the interior, there's another one somewhere else which I couldn't get the information for, which is it's even painted the same inside. So these are completely different landlords. I believe that they're operated as well. There's absolutely no phone number. There's nothing inside the laundromat or online. I believe someone had built these at one point in time and then had sold them individually, or maybe they were in rented space. I don't know, but this is what I believe. Now they've given up the ghost, as you would say.
All right,
So
but
these people now run it.
These are not the same landlords. It is still operating, and it does have some human beings in there doing stuff. Again, a good size
So just very
store.
quickly, we called Maria. So there's 3 sisters that are on the property assessment roll as the landlords, the owners. Sorry, the landlords. Maria, we had a number for her. Every time we call it, I believe it to be a landline. It just beeps, it rings, and then it beeps and hangs up. I found what I believe to be one of her sister's husbands, their in-laws. So there's a number for Yanni, and then there's a number for another guy. I vetted both of them. So I looked the numbers up online, and they were renting the apartment above, again, same story, apartment above the laundromat. And this is how I got their numbers.
Okay.
So
do you want me to
these 2
call
numbers above?
the 61 number or the 69 number?
The 69 number, because that guy actually answered. I don't know his name, though.
Thanks.
Which doesn't really matter.
Yeah, well, if you're good like me, it doesn't really matter, but I'd like to have a number. All right, let's muddle through this here shit. I'm dialing a number. I don't know the guy's name, and we're going to see if we can't get through those tiny barriers. Here we go. Stand by.
All right.
Now you subscribe when the phone rings. That's how it works. Do it. Do it.
Call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach. Please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up.
Yeah, hey, my name is Danny. I'm calling on some commercial space in beautiful Montreal. I am not a broker, I'm not a salesman. I'm looking to lease some space from you. Let me give you my cell phone. You can dial me direct. We are local here, 480. You can also send me a text prior to calling. Thank you so much. Noah, note it, and in that, it is a generic AI voicemail, and the fact that,
Right.
it doesn't say, hey, this is Bob Davis. I'm a landlord. Not like
Yeah,
we're going to hear that in Quebec, but
the other guy, it was like, this is Yanni so and so, and
yeah,
the first number
yeah.
there. But this guy.
All right.
Yeah.
Don't lose
So do I?
don't lose any sleep, but on the first one, he calls or texts me in 5 minutes, 5 days, 5 hours, or on Thursday like he said he would, and we will punch up and get back with him. If not,
Okay.
we will call him next week and follow
Good.
up with him.
Perfect.
And this is the way it works. He's going to sit with his family. Hopefully they're close. He's going to talk about what he's going to do. All I do when I make these calls is explain to them that we are their best bet for a good, solid operator. And we don't even know. It was a quick call. I want to lease it. I was clear. What if he comes back and says, well, they want $50,000 in key fees? Now we've got to overcome that. No,
Right.
there's not going to be any key fees. They didn't buy the
Exactly.
business. They bought the building. So free. You want to stay on the call here and talk to the people for a minute?
Sure.
I know you do. JJ says hola. Kevin says bonjour, which is Spanish, and I think the other one's Italian. Ferdinand just says, I just want to remind you, Danny, you're great on behalf of the community. Well, thanks, buddy. Peter says, Danny, I haven't heard you negotiate CAM fees. I know some, quote, students of yours get free CAM months similar to rent abatement. Do you mention CAM fees in the LOI? So common area maintenance, CAMs. If you live in Canada like our friend Noah, there's going to be snow removal, right? That's part of the common area maintenance. It can't be helped. If it doesn't snow all year by some miracle because of global warming or otherwise, there won't be any snow removal, and that'll be reflected in next year's CAMs. Ridiculous. I had buildings that had silly amounts of CAMs because they had a parking lot that they like to restripe every year. There's a national chain and a dollar store, and they kept up on it. There's nothing you can do. Also have some space where there's, in the Southwest, there's trees that need to be trimmed. I also had another one. I have a lot of stories with my landlords where everybody got together and created a consortium and said, cut those palm trees down. We don't want them. They don't do us any good. It just costs us money. So they got rid of them. And so we had a final CAM fee to cut them down. You don't hear me negotiate it, Peter, because it's not non-negotiable. There's nothing you can do about CAMs. It is, as they say, what it is. Now, I hear you asking further, do you negotiate it for free? Well, our LOI is simple. It's base. It's short. It says we want free rent for 18 months. We want maybe a base rent of $1,000 for 6 additional months. You're asking for as much as you can get. We don't start digging into CAMs, and if they come back, it gives us the opportunity to go back and forth. That's what a negotiation is. So they come back and say, well, you got to pay the CAMs. We might say yes, we might say no, depending on what else they're willing to do. If this particular landlord, it looks like they ripped the heat out of this place. So you can survive in that part of Canada without AC, but not without heat. Seems really weird. Oh, the dryers make heat.
So hold on. Where's the picture? So the page 12, that diffuser is strictly for AC, right? Or is it for both? I don't know.
Yeah, it looks like heat usually comes down in that way. But we'll talk to them about it. You'll remind me of it.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
50 Plus Life admits that I think he's saying his name is Daniel, new to the channel. Thanks for the information you provide. I don't seem to get the notifications for live streams even when I have all notifications set. Anyone else have that issue? Hey, maybe they're I've been blackballed. Maybe they don't like me. Who knows? Let
You
us
gotta
know.
take it off and then click the bell again and write all and click all. Take it off and put it back on.
There you go. Noah always gets you're always in these comments. Peter, when you go for $1 US per square foot, does that include the triple nets or just add it on top of the dollar? We can't do anything about triple nets, like we said, or cam fees. And we don't mention it in the negotiation because that's like tax, right? You might go in and start buying a couch and say, all right, I like it. You want 1,000, I'm going to give you 800. And then they say, yeah, we could do 850. Well, let's do 825. You go to shake hands and you say, but you eat the tax. Oh no, there's nothing I can do about tax. There's not. Somebody's going to have to pay it. So either you or them. You're cutting too deep. They're not going to be able to make that deal. So now you know you've got a good deal because they say, no, I can't eat the tax. Triple nets, cams, they're a lot like tax. Equipment company might have built both of these stores. He's talking about how they're the same. Correct. The distributor might have built these and stuck the same sign on them. Normally, it's the same operator when it's the same sign. If Noah ends up taking over 11 laundromats all over Canada, he's going to leave the signs that are up there if they're good. Sylvia says, hi, Danny from California. Hi, I hope you're well. I hope you're not in the fires. I know that's a very small area. The news makes it look like all of California is burning, but shout out to my friends in Santa Monica. Keep your heads down. I'm 30 years, been looking into this business for about 5 years, just need help where to start. Noah, where does Sylvia start?
Here, get the course.
Get the silly course. There you go. I didn't say it. Noah did. That's where you look, Sylvia, you can fill your head with all the knowledge in the universe right here on the YouTubeinator, but you're going to see through the bullshit artists. You're going to see through the people that are just saying, go put a letter in the hands of the laundromat operator and go buy a laundromat. Please don't buy a laundromat, even if you happen to have the money. These stores are being traded like business cards back and forth with operator after operator because they buy a bill of goods and immediately they do what? They put it on the market to sell it to the next sucker. It's a great business. The only thing you need to spend on is equipment. So spend on equipment only. That's it. It's all in there. He'll try that, he says. Thanks. Hey, Danny, I've got the course, been through it once, and I'm scouting my area. Well, thanks, Sean. Great. Good for you. Sean, it's a simple matter to send me an email, danny@freelaundromat.com, if you'd like to talk. I can email you all day. I prefer talking. So let's get on a phone consultation. I do that. I'm silly like that. I don't charge by the minute or by the hour. It is a never-ending, bottomless conversation. Seems silly, but let's be honest. I read some books on consulting 20 years ago, and I threw them away. I don't want to do it the way that they say that it's supposed to be done. I don't know if it's better or worse for me, but I know it's better for you. I don't want to stare at the clock. Right, Noah?
Exactly.
How was our first conversation, Noah? I don't remember. You might remember. You only had one Danny.
Lengthy, and you also ripped me, but that's another story.
I ripped you for what?
Because I was like, instead of going about it how I believe other people do and, asking you specific questions about the business, and I was like, okay, well, I found a store and I already called the landlord and I want to, how much should I offer them for, they're asking this much and how much should I come back? And you're like, whoa, slow down. Like, you're going to get eaten alive here. You don't know what the hell you're doing. Relax. So, it was one of those. I was jumping into the deep end.
Well,
without knowing anything.
It's a process, and you've heard me say famously, I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm the best salesman there is because I'm not selling shit. I'm just here saying, here's the best way I found to do this. I've got dozens and dozens and dozens of people all over the world that are doing it, that have done it. I get emails on a weekly basis. Hey, I got your course. I got a laundry. Okay, hey, give me more, for God's sakes. It dumbfounds me every time. They don't want to give me details. I want to hear details. I'm excited for those successes. And then there's folks like you who bring
Right,
me on
yeah.
board.
Yeah, the best thing I could have done was bring you on board because like you said, I had no idea what I was doing, and I would have got, eaten alive by these sharks. So,
Well,
there's that.
the call today, we had a good call. If people are just tuning in, go back and listen to that 11 seconds where the guy says, "Nah, I don't have anything," and then you got to calmly grab them by the collar and make them understand. I'm interested in the laundromat. And if they were running it successfully, he might say, well, it's not for sale. I don't want to buy it. I mean, you've heard all it's just, it's the zag. It's not the zig, it's the zag. It's not what they say, it's what you say in return. And I appreciate your bringing me on board. This could be your store shortly, or maybe not, and we go back to the drawing board. A couple more little comments here. We've got Nick, who says 95% success rate equals 23 operators in 50 years. Yeah, exactly right. These standard bearers who are out there saying that laundromats have a 95% success rate, they're clever lies. The 95% success rate means that the store, like the one we just called, has been there since 1950. It's never closed its doors, but it's been sold 48 times. That to me sounds like 47 failures.
Yeah, look at this one. Nobody would even walk in it on a Sunday at that. So
Sylvia has a great question. Where do you come up with the equipment money when you first buy it? Well, Sylvia, do you have a car? Is it a $150,000 Mercedes? Is it an old jalopy? Where did you come up with that money? I'll wait, Sylvia. Where did you come up with the money? Noah?
financing.
Holy shit. These are, look, 103% of the questions that are asked of my new clients are fearful questions, and that's okay. I'm afraid, you should just begin with, I'm afraid to do this, and here's why. Where do you come up with the equipment money when you first buy it? Sylvia, if you call every distributor, I don't know where you live, Texas, New Mexico, New York, other news, New Hampshire. How many news do we know? Is there any news in Canada, Noah? New Brunswick. Jinx. Wherever you live, Sylvia, call every distributor right now. You'll stammer, you'll stutter, you'll tell them that you're really interested in maybe perhaps someday getting into this business, and they will probably not even write your name down. Go out and do this. Go out and do what Noah is doing. Go out and sign a long-term lease, then call the distributors. What do you say then, Noah?
That you have a lease in hand, and you want to retool the store. You have a lease in hand, and I don't know if you want me to give away the next step.
She's in Whittier.
Not paying anything,
I don't care. I don't hide anything.
You're going to call the distributors. You're going to pit them against each other. You're going to get the best price, the longest warranty, the lowest interest rate.
I own a motherfucking laundromat. Come and give me the best price for equipment and be there on Wednesday at 2. Click.
Right.
Kill shot. When they show up, they're going to see their competitors' vehicles in the parking lot because it's an open house.
Right.
So, Sylvia, for you, you go from that fearful question, where am I going to get the money? Well, for the price of a decent SUV, you're going into good debt. Without debt, no one becomes a billionaire. Sorry. I'm not talking about inheritance or luck or a fucking lottery ticket. I'm talking about good debt. This is a smaller scale. Now you have that free laundry. You don't need to tell anyone how you acquired it. You've got a $300,000 plus leg up because of the infrastructure, the gas, water, electric, like the call we made today. This is an existing laundromat. This is a cold call that turns it. Look, The preponderance of the calls that we make, we leave messages, we play the game, but you must play the game to win. Don't
Right.
play, no winning. So we're not children, Sylvia. We don't save money to buy a bicycle anymore. We build our credit. We laugh at the price of the bicycle. We go in with a debit or credit card. We buy a dozen of those bikes. I don't care if you're earning $300,000 a month in net cash. You're not going to take money out of the bank and go pay for that bicycle or save for that bicycle. You're going to use credit. And really, what is it? It's putting pen to paper, as I say. And we talked on this call about that fear. Oh my God, but I'm going to need an LLC. And a lot of folks, all that little stuff. Opening and starting an LLC is easier than sending a letter snail mail to your grandma. Got to go find her address, got to get a stamp, got to write things down. Cursive is dying. Come on, give me some good questions. You guys dig into Noah's background, ask him questions. David says to answer Sylvia's question, either capital or finance the stuff. I don't know what you mean, but capital is money. So yeah, I can tell you right now from her question, where do you come up with the equipment money? Finance it. I don't care if you have the money liquid. It doesn't make sense on paper to buy it with your money that you have saved. Keep your money. Do it the way those of us who have dozens of stores. Oh, this becomes a game.
Try not to be an idiot.
I'm not calling anyone an idiot. I just like the button. Wade says, who has a successful store in Canada. I got to keep you two away from each other. You lease the equipment. Now people are going to watch this and think that I only do this in Canada. You lease the equipment. You can write it off over 5 years in Canada, 7 in the US. Don't say lease. You buy it. You buy it. You don't lease it. You're killing me, Wade. Use other people's money and have your customers' money to pay for the equipment. Yes. Yes.
Right.
Listen, says the next guy. Wait, did you get a laundromat? How much profit are you getting per month? Uh-oh. Zach and Wade want to talk amongst themselves in here. Yes, he did get a laundromat. I love this question. How much profit are you getting a month? How long should I sit here and wait for Wade to get back with? Wade, Wade is doing charity work. I've got to get my ass up to Canada. I'll probably wait until you open your store, Noah, and then I'll come visit the both of yous.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah. Go back to work. I'll let you know if I hear back from the second guy.
All right. Thanks, Danny. Ciao.
Adio. If you've learned anything here, it's that this is a slog. This is like anything worth doing. It is work. And the worst, hardest part about it is not knowing. The worst, hardest part about it is likely picking up the phone and calling that landlord. I'll do it for you. Completely up to you. Start at freelaundromat.com. The link's in the description. Go click in there. Go look at the website. It's an old website. Don't care. The information, we're constantly updating it. Same way we're constantly doing real videos like this. I have become this lease negotiator because folks like you begged me to do it. Danny, can you please? Can you please? All right. And we figured out logistically how to do it all over the world. Does it work in Canada? Yeah. Go comment on the video. Tell me a dad joke. Thanks.